Here. We're a couple minutes early. I don't even own a pen, so if we need something to write down, you'll have to do it for me. That's the beach house.
That looks great.
Sorry about my dirty. I can't see, but.
It looks really
It's
good.
So much better. I was sitting with one of the lifeguards today, showing them pictures from the day that we did all the work,
Yeah.
and, he was like, wow.
Is it just one or?
It's everywhere. Oh, they do it. Okay. Yeah, but he did the entire, the entire.
The whole thing that looks brand new.
And he just pulled up. The ice cream truck. They had one there when I picked it up.
Came today?
They said it comes every. All right, we're ready.
Okay.
Once in summer.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order. Okay, this is the meeting of the Parks Commission for June 25th, starting at 7 a.m. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and it will be broadcast over Lunenburg Public Access Channel and uploaded to the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel. This meeting will be held in person at the location provided on the notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend in person. Please note that while an option for remote attendance or participation is being provided, it is a courtesy to the public. The meeting will not be suspended or terminated if technology problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific agenda item should be making plans for in-person or virtual attendance accordingly. The agenda lists all of the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those that are reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may be in fact discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for the discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. Chair Anita Shipers.
Colin Shapiro.
Karen Menard.
Chris Sullivan.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have Chris Ruth remotely available. Chris, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Okay, so can you give us general updates and also updates of what's happening with the beach house and other facilities?
So I think I heard you guys talking about it before the meeting started, but the floor and the trim of the beach house is all complete. The sand cleanup was done over the weekend to get ready for the opening of the beach, which was Monday. Over at Wallace Park, we have I don't know if replace is the right word, but added more wood chips back in because that was looking pretty shaggy. I think they may have another day or so out there to wrap up. I saw a little pile left. They're also cutting down one of the trees over at Wallace. Hopefully this week. It should have been last, but the rain prevented them. We also starting July 1st, we have new landscapers on board, and they're local guys, so they hopefully we'll have some better looking parks. That being said, if anyone has anything, wish list or needs they've seen in any of the parks, we're trying to kind of put together a priority list to clean up what we can afford to and make a plan moving forward to get the rest of them all back into tip top shape.
Who has the bid?
Lakeview.
Oh, okay.
So that was really all I had for highlights.
Okay, what's going on at Marshall Park?
At the moment, there's just waiting on the manhole covers to hopefully be all done this week over there. Other than that, nothing new at Marshall.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yep.
Chris, Phillies are over there this summer?
The Phillies are there. I'm not sure their schedule off the top of my head, but they
That's fine.
typically run through July, I believe.
Do you know if anybody else is using the fields this summer over at any of the parks?
No one has officially rented anything at Marshall, no.
Okay, thank you.
Little League was rounding down their all-star games.
They're rounding up their all-star
They
day.
just had one for softball, baseball just had one
Yeah, the other day.
last couple of days. Someone's going, last night, I heard, actually, I think it was last night. It was an all-star game last night. I think. I could hear the cheers from when I get home.
Gotcha.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, so anything else, Chris?
Nope, that was all I had.
All right, do we have questions for Chris?
I have one more, Chris. I know when we spoke today, there was mention of the weeds at the beach. Amy, I think I heard you say that we're in the permitting approval limbo, jump through 75,000 flaming hoops of fire mode. Is that? where
Yeah,
we are?
I think, Karen, sorry to cut you off. I think we should,
Okay.
we're waiting on permitting at the moment, but beyond that, I think we should take it offline just until we have our ducks in a row.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, all set? All right, Chris, thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, do we have Angela on board?
No,
Okay,
today is her, she's not usually in on Tuesdays, so
right, but she said she was gonna come
Okay.
remotely, but, okay. All right, do we have any questions for Angela that I can send to her regarding the, summer programs or swim lessons, etc.?
I don't have any questions. I'm putting someone in touch with her to organize a couch to 5K. Ahead of Miles for Miles, so that'll probably kick off in August.
Okay, in August,
Suspect that'll be it, but I think through the track and field, cross country boosters,
okay,
get a Miles for Miles meeting,
what a good idea.
do something like that out,
That's a
so
good
we'll
idea.
tie that in, so I did connect with her to say that's something we can organize, and she said sure, so I'll get. Someone that said they would organize that in touch with her,
okay,
touch with her to. Do that.
sounds
That's
interesting.
six or 8 weeks probably ahead of. The race is mid-October, so mid-August kind of do.
Okay, all right. I did meet with Angela, 3 or 4 weeks back. And, I asked her if she could look into perhaps getting some of the, National Honor Society kids to help her with some programming or at least preparation or cleanup on
I
programming.
saw, yeah, listen,
So she was gonna look into that.
yeah,
Um,
reach out to me. That one individual that was interested has not responded.
Okay,
After I said, let me know when you want to meet.
yeah,
So-
okay,
And I suspect
Regarding-
maybe it's gonna be tough I don't know what kids have for access to.
For
school,
summer
so they kind of do.
programming and NHS, their hours don't count over the summer.
okay,
So that doesn't mean they couldn't volunteer of their own accord because
Yeah.
they just wanted to,
mhm,
but the hours don't count.
mhm,
We
Okay.
had a young lady, and I actually was speaking with Chris Ruth this morning about National Honor Society students. We had a young lady in the spring who did some work on park stuff
Yep.
through me, going through our meetings, motions, making sure I had documented everything right. And she reached out, she really liked it, asking if we had more. So I sort of ran some thoughts by Chris this morning, and I was gonna follow up with Angela, so they can do 6 hours in the fall and they need to do 6 hours in the fall and 6 hours in the spring, but they can't be with the same group.
okay,
They get no more than 6 hours.
Right, they
Yeah.
need 12 each, but they can only do
Six
six from
with-
one group for
right.
each.
So my thought was if we could pull this young lady in and maybe somebody else with her and have 2 of them,
mhm,
even if it's doing things like helping to create Canva advertisements that then go back to Angela, so she
Mhm.
can, anything to take some of the stuff off of her plate
Yeah.
that she runs out of time with, so.
I'll figure out who the president is for next year, and it was Bodie, but I'll figure out who that is.
Well, and I don't know who's in charge of it either because it was Sarah Sabatini and she retired. So I'm not sure who the
I'll reach out to Mr. Santry.
the staff. I think.
I'll ask Mr. Santry.
okay,
And then-
all right, thanks. Okay, any other questions or comments that we can pass on to Angela?
I will just note, we did donate about 70 chairs.
Oh, that went through,
Rather
awesome.
than, yeah, Paraeducational behavioral.
Who?
Yeah, so Chris and some of the guys came in, picked them up with like a big rolling rack and
Awesome.
whatever, so presumably that will make the programming
Awesome.
run a little smoother in
Yeah.
the rentals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's so cool, thanks.
So hopefully that helps out.
Good. Okay. Number 4, naming of the beach house.
That's me. All right, so in November of twenty twenty-two, Genevieve Nass, who was a longtime employee of the beach. She actually started working at the beach in 1987, and she ran for 35 consecutive years running our
Wow.
beach. She was instrumental in making sure that our swim lesson programs were up and running and everything that goes with the beach. So, last year, I think it was, we had, a few different groups and individuals that approached us wanting to inquiring about whether or not we could name the beach house after her and to memorialize her. And at the time, the beach house was not in any condition to be named after anybody. Since that initial conversations happened, the front wall has been repaired, and it was brought down to the studs for the repair. The walls have been painted, new flooring was put in. It's finally in a state, the interior is in a state that I think it's something that we can now consider doing. We don't have an official, I don't believe we ever passed the naming policy that we worked on. I think it was one of those things we were gonna circle back to it and we never circled back to it. So right now we don't have an official naming policy, but I would love to see, or get people's opinions on whether or not that's something that we could move forward with. And if so, I'd be happy to make that motion, to do it this summer. While the kids are, because right now at the beach house, her daughter is the, beach coordinator. Her granddaughter is a lifeguard and 2 of her grandsons are
Oh,
lifeguards.
nice.
That would be, I think it'd be pretty special for it to go up while they were,
Mhm.
still employed by us.
And there's been no other expression of interest to have anyone else be recognized in that way.
No, nobody.
As far as passing the policy, I only know really school committee regulations, does it require the same number of readings and everything?
It doesn't, so we actually don't have a policy on that, so we don't have there's no certain number of readings that we have to do. And we never passed our naming policy, which was very similar to the schools, which was, you wait so many years after unless the committee decides to, waive that. And in the 35 years that she worked for the town and for at the town beach. During that time, she also worked as a physical education teacher for the school district, and not once in the 20+ years that I've lived here have I ever heard a negative thing. So I'm not sure that 5-year, I think that's what we originally thought we would put in our policy. I'm not sure that would be applicable in this case anyway.
No, and especially like you said, with her family so involved currently, I almost feel like that would be enough reason to waive the 5 years even.
Yeah,
And can you say her name again?
yes, so it's Genevieve Nass,
So it's GEN.
EIVE. You just put me on the spot.
EEIEDE, I think.
I'm gonna look
It's a
it
lot
up.
of vowels.
It
So I
is.
call it Jen.
Last name is
Jen.
NASS.
Miss Jenny from her dance, she also taught.
Oh, she did do dance.
Yeah.
that's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at multiple places with her last place being.
So it's GENEVIEVE.
Okay,
Last name is Nass.
NASS, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, does anyone want to make a motion? in regards
I
to
will
that?
motion that. So would like to make a motion, to memorialize, I don't know, that's right, or to rename the beach house in memory of Genevieve Nass to the Genevieve Nass Memorial Beach House.
So,
Does that sound right?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So I talked to Chris Ruth briefly today as well about whether or not we had a hose. The inside's fine. She never expected that beach house to be perfect, so it would make sense to make everything 100% perfect right now. But I would like to wash down the outside of the beach house, so, my thought is give me the month of July to get some of the, get out there. Chris said the hose was on. So I'll just go down and with a bowl and a brush one day and just wash the outside. Yeah, just get like the dirt and the cobwebs and stuff up. No, I don't think I want power wash, because
That could be a little too much for
well,
something.
I don't
not
mind
new.
power washing. The problem is, I think that we'd end up with a lot of peeling paint and I
Oh,
really
we don't
don't
want
want
paint.
to do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
shouldn't do that. So, I'll talk to her daughter and see if maybe we could plan like an actual dedication ceremony, late July, early August.
Okay,
speaking of beach house, Chris, where are you at with that number? Of the
Oh, I'm fixing it. I have that stuff
You have
I'm
it,
fixing
they can
tomorrow.
figure it
Yeah,
out.
I was down there today, standing on a kitchen chair. I'm sure people were like, what is this lady doing? And the numbers are put on, for anybody who's not following this, the main sign that says Lunenburg Town Beach says that the address is
250.
256. The address is actually 265. So the numbers are backwards. So when I was up there today, I realized you can actually, it looks like vinyl that's just been adhered to it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna go down tomorrow with a plastic blade and try to get the 5 and the 6 off, and I already have the new numbers to go up there. So that's my goal for tomorrow.
Never mind, Chris.
If you hear the ambulance, please, somebody come with me.
Although Karen, I would like to point out that there should be a stepladder left in the beach house somewhere. So you don't need the kitchen chair.
Yeah, I was gonna bring my own ladder too. I'm not sure of the stability of that probably 55-year-old wooden ladder that's probably in a side storage room, but thank you, I will look.
So is this something that we might want to eventually change the sign to reflect the new name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I don't know when the sign that exists right now went up, but
This
to
will
me,
be-
it seems like if we're gonna do this, we should actually have the new name on the
Yeah.
sign.
and Chris had mentioned that today too, I don't even know where you get signage, but I can spearhead some of that.
So-
figure out where you get
Etsy,
a big sign like that, you think?
that's where we
Yeah.
got Rob's on Etsy.
You could
Really?
run it, Etsy, I'm sure.
Okay.
We have a couple local vendors too that we use in town, Karen.
Okay.
No.
All right, we'll figure it out, but yes, a sign would be nice, but this would, I think this needs to be, if I had done my due diligence, I would have done it yesterday, just where it's an address that's wrong, I would hate to have an emergency and have somebody.
Exactly, yeah.
Call and
No, that
give
that
that
change
wrong-
needs to be done ASAP,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'm gonna at least fix the numbers
And one,
tomorrow.
there was one set of numbers.
One is, I was hoping it was the one on the pole
On the-
that was wrong, because then you could just
Right.
pluck out
Yeah.
the pins and put it back in, but
Yeah.
no, that couldn't be so easy.
Okay, so we're looking to late July or early August. Do we want it to be part of a regular Parks Commission meeting, or do we want it to be an extra event above and
It
beyond?
doesn't matter, I mean, if, it doesn't necessarily matter,
I think I think that warrants just letting it stand on its own,
yeah, I
Okay.
do,
kind of deal.
yeah, I'll grab a couple of trays of cookies or something from DJ's and.
Okay. We'd have to post it as a meeting just because, but we'd have a quorum, I assume, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure we have enough notice to make properly posted.
Yeah,
Okay,
perfect.
all right. Good, thank you. Okay, repurposing T-ball field as a dog park. So I did reach out to the town manager regarding this, and she was gonna look into what might be required regarding any changes in town insurance to allow this to happen. And I have not heard back on that, so I apologize. I probably should have reached out to her this week and I did not. So I will double check with her on that one, but, given that, skate park construction hopefully will be starting sometime soon, it might be something that we need to wait on anyways to, allow them the ability to safely move ahead with construction before we make any changes.
That
So,
makes sense.
Maybe.
okay, so we'll put that back on the agenda for next meeting. Okay, status of the skate park construction. So
So,
you're up.
since we last spoke, we have.
Can you just introduce
Oh,
yourself for
sorry.
people who don't know you?
I'm Anthony Cagliuso with the Lunenburg Skate Park. So since we last spoke, we did receive an updated draft of the legal agreement, the right of entry agreement
Mhm.
from town council.
Yeah,
We received that 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
And we're at the part where we're waiting for our attorney.
Yeah.
To review
I
that,
saw
to give
that.
that the final go ahead.
Mhm.
Once that occurs, we can move to sign.
Yeah.
And then we can go negotiate the build agreement with the builder,
Mhm.
and then all the other subcontractors that are waiting to get into the facility.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, and so what I was hoping that I could do is just get a quick vote from this committee to authorize me to sign that once it's ready. I'm not sure that that vote's necessary, but I'd feel better if we actually formalize that. So if somebody would like to make a motion,
I'll make a motion for you as the chair to sign the right of entry agreement. That's the right of entry agreement. That's what,
license agreement, yeah,
yeah, sure.
okay,
I'll second.
okay. Vote,
For the Lunenburg Skate Park.
okay. Colleen? Aye. Karen?
Hi.
Chris? Okay, fine, so all of us. And the other thing that Anna had mentioned to me before she resigned, that there had originally had been some agreement with a time frame to allow the skate park group to get in there to do construction. So obviously that time is, I think it was the end of June.
Well, that's-
wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. So we need to,
It was by July 1st.
yeah,
A few days.
so.
Anyway, we had, we had to be in the time, March
Yeah.
1st to be out of there. by- You're 48 hours.
Sunday.
Oh, it's only 2 weeks. Anyway,
So,
but yes,
so what, at this point, what do you think your time frame is, from the day, you actually get to go in there versus when you'll be out? What do you think that time frame is?
from the day we are starting to build,
Yeah,
90 days later we'll be done.
oh, okay,
But the big but is, you said from the day that we're permitted to go in. That's the signing of the right of entry.
right,
You've seen these agreements as well, right? You've got some sort of idea as to the balls we have in the air. You've done this before with other large scale projects like this. If you were to guesstimate with the resources we have and the agreements we need to get through, ballpark. I mean, I honestly, I thought this agreement with the town was gonna take 90 days, and we're here, a year and a half later, and we still haven't technically finished it.
right.
Something could still happen. What do you think, Greg?
I think that, we'll be hard pressed to get it done before the snow flies this year. To be quite honest.
Well, how long do you think it'll actually take to get through the agreements?
Say it again?
So we have the agreement that we need to get through with the builder,
Oh, I see.
and then all the additional insurance, the bonds, all the other logistics.
I haven't seen the updated right of agreement. Did that memorialize what we were asking for with the insurance?
Yes,
Okay.
and then it has to trickle down to all the subcontractors,
Yeah, but we more or less had that.
more or less.
They've all had adequate notice that it's.
And those are
something
the
that-
people that had committed to it. There's also some new people coming on board.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of moving parts.
It's gonna take a few months to get through that process.
So,
So-
the reason I'm saying all this,
Yeah, no,
It
this is good,
because we have to get through all of that.
right.
To
before
then
you
tell
go
the
start.
builder, we're ready, for them then to slot the work.
Then they have to mobilize. That's the thing.
Exactly.
We don't control, so the skate park builder that we have is obviously not waiting for us. He's
Mhm.
not sitting around and wherever he lives.
So you gotta be lucky to get into a slot that will fit eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he had slotted us for the spring and obviously that's,
Right.
so then he moved other stuff in, so. Have you been talking with him?
Oh,
Rick?
yeah, talk all the time.
So I mean, does he have slots this in 2024?
It's a firm maybe, because as you can imagine, there's a lot of other projects that he's,
Right.
that are doing the same exact thing.
Yeah,
Right.
So maybe, it all depends when we get through the rest of these things.
Right.
That are coming up.
okay,
So
so,
it is possible,
So,
right?
Yeah.
What's the latest they can build in this area?
we don't want to pour concrete after November 15th.
Okay,
So it will be in there by
That's
September.
So I mean, most years, can we pour concrete after November 15th? Yeah, but we really don't want to.
Right.
We don't want to
plan
plan,
to.
we don't want to plan a schedule.
Exactly.
What's the,
so that's 4.5 months from now.
so, and the last piece of concrete we pour isn't at the 90th day, right? There's things that happen.
Right.
So I mean, it's probably doable for this year, but it's probably,
Possibly.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other part of this is, if this does slip into next year,
then
what
it's
does that
gonna
mean in the
start,
grand scheme?
right,
That's what we're here.
yeah, so, met with the OPM the other day. And, it looks realistically that, now that we have the OPM on board, we're working to finalize the request for services document that's going out to be, on to be advertising with designers for the final design of Marshall Park renovation. And it looks as though we can get that out properly advertised for August timeframe and try to get a designer chosen right after Labor Day,
A designer?
to finish the final design of the
A
park.
true final.
So how come the people that did the initial design aren't finishing design? Sorry.
Well,
They might be, but
Well,
they
okay.
passed
they're able to do it, but we only committed to them for the schematic.
Got it, okay,
So because we only committed for that, we are obligated under procurement law to
Totally.
go through this.
okay.
Which unfortunately adds more time, but it is what it is. So, you know, we'll see who gets it at the end, but at this point, we're aiming to get the new, a designer on board right around Labor Day, slightly after. And, you know, if we're lucky, everything could be pulled together so that we have the design and construction documents ready to go out for bid in, you know, early January timeframe.
Okay,
So, that means that, you know, we would be able to get the contractor on board to start, you know, as soon as conditions allow in late winter, early spring, depending on what we have for weather.
so just have to ask, is that, and again, I haven't been in your chair, your seat, doing this and trying to get people to bid on these projects. But you're saying someone could bid on this in January, be ready to start 45 days later?
No, they bid on it August, selection would be in
No,
September.
the designer would
multi-phases.
would come on board. We would choose a designer around Labor Day, get that contract ready. The designer would then have the fall through the holidays to get that ready. It would go out to bid for the construction,
Correct.
and the construction contract would hopefully be awarded, you know, say mid-January, with the hope that, you know, they would have the ability to start up as soon as weather conditions allow, late winter, early spring, date to be determined.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah, that's doable.
Okay, great, I mean, yeah,
So, yeah, all right, so that's good commentary.
yeah,
So we're in a, not a crunch, but we have a timeline for one of our grants that they wanted expended by June 30 of 2025.
mhm,
And we straight out asked the OPM whether or not that would be doable. Now, I'm gonna preface all this by saying, I do think I'm gonna be borrowing and pleading to the state to ask for an extension on that grant.
okay,
I don't know, I've never worked with a grant like that before, so that's possible that we may run after, especially if the weather is not cooperative, but they did not see a huge issue with getting this project completed in the, you know, March to June timeframe of next year.
so worst case scenario, can we just start our bill in June or beginning of July?
After you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then, so I hate to say no, but I hate to say yes at the same time, because then the problem is, what happens if come fall town meeting, the town says they end up supporting the project in full, and now we suddenly have 100% of the money we needed for this project.
Right,
I would expect that because we'd be knowing that in November, that our OPM would just start moving ahead on that. Would they continue the build? Would they do that first phase? I don't know if they do that first phase and take a break, or they do that first phase and then just continue through. So some of this is tied into the decisions that have to come from the town in November.
okay,
And we also have people working on the background doing some other fundraising for us, so we're just sort of. It's hard for me to
so
give
how
an
about
answer
this,
now.
we don't need an answer right now. At all.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that, the best case scenario is we're in and out by this calendar year. But
Exactly.
I am here to say that that's probably,
Can you start the project and then do some completion of it
No,
in the later?
no.
probably not. I mean, I don't think that makes sense.
The folks that are coming in to do the work
Yeah,
are not from.
they just want in and out.
Well, to mobilize them, to bring them up, to then take all their equipment out,
They're out-
bring it all back. That
They're
doesn't
out
make sense.
out of state people. so
Yeah.
it doesn't- But my point is, we'll know the answer to this question by the time you have your designer on board.
Okay,
And I think that the answer, if the answer to the question, if the answer to this question is, can we go this year is no, there's just gonna be coordination.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to occur, and yes, that's related, I think, to town meeting, but it also is related to hand the designer work.
Yeah, how do we stage it so that it
Yeah.
will all work out? Yeah,
Exactly.
You know, you know, my civil engineering brain says, yeah, this way, but I don't wanna, would certainly don't wanna say that, because you'll have your designer that you'll need to consult with. See
Yeah.
whether- But it seems to me that, you know, we'll have to have those conversations in the fall.
Mhm.
As you're going through that process, if the answer is no, I'm sure we'll certainly work. But it's kind of like, only if our luck changes. We've been trying to get you know, on the pavement to get this thing, you know, the legal agreements in place.
Mm,
So I'm thinking by the time the boys graduate college,
Yeah, you got it right.
no, let's not do that.
So, God, you know.
Your grandchildren will definitely.
Oh, no,
feel that.
no.
Kids,
I'm certain of it.
only.
Yeah, anyway,
But the good news is that once this right of entry is signed, sealed, and delivered, all the rest of the balls are squarely.
That rate of entry, so we're not restarting that at a later date, that does not have an expiration date on it.
Correct. However. Yeah.
I mean, we need to vote a time period, but we don't need to vote that tonight, so.
Do we need to unvote the prior timetable we set?
Let's do that by making it vague. Let's negate the vote that was previously taken. And say that the time period will be revisited with a decision made by, say, October 1st of this year, by October 1st this year. By then we should, you know, with the help of the OPM and,
Yeah.
you know, early conversations with the designers. And if we need to adjust that further, we can do that then.
who did we get for OPM?
It's Skanska,
Skanska,
Skanska.
yeah.
out of Boston, there's no way you don't know,
Super.
they're big.
That's good,
I mean, I don't know how long they've had an OPM branch, but
Yeah.
they're,
good,
yeah.
that's good.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion, to rescind the motion that Chris Sullivan made on May 24th of 2023. With a construction end date of June 30th, 2024. And leave it open? Is that the right?
To revisit it
To revisit it
And
this-
We'll revisit,
by October.
Let's just say this
this
fall.
fall, and we'll revisit this fall to determine a new date.
Second,
Okay, all in favor, Colleen,
Aye.
Karen,
Aye.
Chris, and Anita.
There's,
Aye.
are you sure it's 5 days?
Yeah, all right.
have a show.
I mean, we complain about municipal government running slow. I mean, this could be a miracle upon miracle.
Sure, yeah.
That would be a huge miracle.
This bad concrete, it's got stores, you don't skate park for 5 days.
Parker.
I don't even think the
trailers
concrete was
down
set in that
there
time.
And work all night.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I've seen lots of stuff in town, but some-
No comment.
So did
Okay.
we get everything answered that you needed answered?
For the votes we needed tonight, yes. Is there anything else you want to share with us or?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, not,
No,
not to get the whole stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
and we'll have more meetings soon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna stay as a citizen.
I'm gonna stay for the 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay,
Thanks.
thanks.
It makes me nervous when Mr. Roy decides to stay. So that is me on.
What's coming up on the agenda?
This is just
Okay.
a lively, enjoyable meeting. I think that's good.
All right, so we already talked a bit about Marshall Park design and construction. Does anybody have any questions about what I was mentioning earlier?
So if I may?
Yep.
Madam Chair, I,
Can you tell us who you are, just so our minutes
my
taker?
name is Greg Roy.
Thank you,
My address is 105 Chestnut Street.
thank you.
And I am here as a local citizen and abutter to the Marshall Park project. But I'm also going to try to engage in the process as much as I possibly can in, as a citizen, not as an official, of course, member of the board, but to try to make myself available to the board. I'm also a local civil engineer, and I have some expertise in these matters. So I'm going to do my best to be here to support you in any way you see fit, or not at all. all, but I am sort of an interested citizen and also I have a little bit of expertise should you choose to use it, so I offer that to you.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Correct.
And it's a relief to know that we have you there to rely on if needed. Thank you
You bet.
so much. Okay, any other questions or concerns about the process for?
So August, so we should be planning. Like end of, from what you were saying, end of August, then would be the interview sort of scenario, is that?
Hopefully before that, so
Yes,
8/8 is the day, am I right on that date? That's the-
yeah, I think that, was it the 8th or did we push it back to the 15th? I think we pushed it back to the 15th,
Okay.
that the,
Stuff was gonna be due to the.
yeah. Yeah, so, I will definitely, we're meeting again, I'm meeting again with Skanska and the town manager. On July 8th, I think it was. And we'll have better understanding of dates, et cetera, at that point. And so as soon as I know what we're aiming for in terms of what will be required for our review of proposals, I'll send that out to all of you guys to find out, what what your availability is. So. Yeah, okay,
Early to mid August, I think we should probably plan
yeah,
for
yes,
some
Yeah.
interview nights and things of that.
yeah. And hopefully we can do it all in one night, I mean, it would be great if we had a lot of responses, from different design firms. I don't know if we're gonna be that lucky, but, as we did with OPM process, we're really obligated to only interview the top 3 candidates, so we need a night to score them. And then a night for interviewing, so. Okay, perfect. All right, grant updates.
Want the good news or the bad news first? But there's no good news, so, I guess it'll be quick. Bad news first. We did not get the Trails grant. That was we have 2 grants we had 2 grants outstanding. We had the Trails grant and the ADA grant. The Trails grant it was a lower amount. I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but it was a grant that in order to apply for it, we basically had to throw the rest of the project in. So it was like, say, it was under 400,000 if I remember right, but we had to, like, the projects that made the list were like $4 million worth of projects. So the trade-off there isn't, it's not, although it would have been nice, it's not the end of the world. So we do have the ADA grant that went in a couple weeks ago. That one, we didn't get any assistance, with putting that one together. I sort of picked and pulled from previous documents and rewrote some things and ran it by.
Yeah, you did a
Anita.
great job.
So that went in, and that amount, that one will be an interesting one, because last year, a lot of their grants, they issued for planning, so like the design process and stuff like that. So I have a feeling it's gonna be a pretty thick field of candidates for the construction, cause all those people last year were now probably putting in for construction, and we would be thrown into that pack. The amount of money that I put in was 136 or
Who's that?
138,000. It was the difference between our first and our second estimate to bridge the gap. What's nice about
For the park, the playground.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What's nice about that grant, it's not a matching grant. So if we get it, it's
just there.
it's just 100% of it. We still have dates that we have to follow and whatnot, but,
Mhm.
so right now we have the park grant, that's signed, sealed, delivered. We just have to execute it on our side. The land and water grant has not been signed off on yet because we're waiting on some stuff from, and something came in today. I'm assuming you got it in your inbox too.
I haven't looked at my
I
inbox
can
lately.
see it here. I'm afraid to click on it. It has to do with the Army Corps of Engineers, which, I know that I'm an expert in my own mind, Greg, but this is way above me. On this permitting process and whether or not we even need permits. I had to go back to, we have contracted with Fuss and O'Neill, who is the people that took over WOLA. WOLA's merged in with Fuss and O'Neill now, so we have an agreement to do some hourly work with them. They sent us an email last week, Anita and I are like layman's terms,
Yeah.
like no idea what it meant. So we're waiting on some information for that. As soon as we can figure out that Army Corps of Engineers stuff, then the National Park Service will sign off on the grants, then it will move to us for signature.
Mhm.
So we're still dealing with some little bits and pieces there. The ADA grant, I believe, is gonna be decided on in the fall, and right now, those are the only 4 grants that we've applied for.
We did apply for the
Okay,
dredging
that's
grant
right,
as well, and we
grant.
just heard 2.5 weeks ago that we did not get that dredging grant. And that was for dredging both Marshall Pond and at the town beach. And so unfortunately, we did not get that one, but we, are able to reapply, so.
Do they
Okay,
give feedback when we don't get it, like, I don't know, do they give feedback as to like what you're
We,
missing or?
we did it on
That kinda
the
deal?
trails grant, and it was that, so Anna was listed as the contact for the trails grant, so she actually got the notification. And when she forwarded it to me, she's like, you should probably ask for feedback as to, if they have any feedback, so I am gonna circle back on that. What's interesting about some of these grants is that the first 2 were very detailed, they wanted your next of kin, they wanted your next week's paycheck. I mean, it just was very, very specific in what they wanted and how they wanted it. So those were good ones to start with, but the Trails grant and the ADA grant were 2 totally different grants from the first 2. So it's really hard to did we go wrong because we followed the same system that we did with the trails, with the land and water and the park grant? I don't know. So I'm not sure how much they'd be willing to give us, but I'm definitely gonna ask.
and I think in terms of the dredging grant, part of it was that what we needed to do really wasn't the norm in terms of what a dredging project was being recognized as, because ours was more of a treatment rather than pure dredging.
Okay.
So, but if we go to apply for that again, we'll seek more feedback before we actually apply. So. Okay, National Honor Society project update. I know we talked about some things briefly. Any other updates?
Yeah,
on that?
no, I've reached out again that summertime. I don't know how often a student will check their school email in the summertime.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
I do have another message out to that student that had expressed interest, and like I said, I'll connect with Mr. Santry here. To figure out who might be in charge of the National Honor Society next year, if that's been determined yet, and I'll connect with either Mr. Santry or Bodie or something, to figure out who maybe the new president is. And
okay,
so come September, we're rolling on that front.
okay,
To get that squared away, so I'll always have contacts for us and stuff.
okay, excellent. I'm just gonna go back to Marshall Park, and one of the discussions that we had with the OPM the other day was, do we want to give consideration to have part of the work involved with the Marshall Park project be done by the local tech high school? Communities have the ability to request that Monty Tech students, participate in local municipal construction projects. And, so that's gonna be a discussion that we're gonna have with the OPM and designer as we move forward to see whether that's feasible. There may be portions of it that would be appropriate to have them do. It, unfortunately, it's a fantastic program that we can, work with the school and the kids to do different projects, but they have so many requests from so many different communities that you really need to get on their list way in advance. Doesn't mean we can't ask, but it might be that some of the things, would be appropriate for them to do later after the majority of the other major construction of the park is done, like some of the, like the announcement shed, shed or something like that,
They did the building at Northfield Cemetery.
Yeah, yeah,
Like 2 of them. I think pretty sure they did both sides of the road.
Yeah.
But
perfect. Yeah, no, it's a cool program, and if we can take advantage of it, it's a win-win for everybody.
Can we tap Neshoba as well, or just are we limited to Monty Tech?
I
Good
would
question.
say we're probably limited to Monty Tech, but never hurts to ask.
Yeah.
Mm. And,
I would certainly support that. There are appropriate projects at any point, like, once we have the, I guess, the final,
yeah,
probably easier to identify that once we have
right.
the plans in
Exactly.
September or come first of the year when we have.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking through with the designer, I think that, that's, that they would provide us the OPM and the design would give us feedback in terms of what would be appropriate to put for that. And the other part of that was also that, you know, there's potential that we could be getting, you know, donations, from, you know, people willing to put money toward the park renovation. And some of those may be offers of in-kind services. So, you know, we need to also give consideration to that as we talk through the design to see what, you know, what can be done. Okay. All right, update on Lake Shirley partials and agreement with Shady Point. So the selectmen are still, you know, working on that. Nothing has been finalized.
Is there a particular holdup on
No, I think it's just, you know, they were working on it, and with a change of chairmanship now on the board. So Cesar Nizzolo is now the chair of the selectmen, so I'll reach out to him to see where that stands and, yeah.
it? Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, what exactly?
I don't know what the
Yeah, what
initial
the
holdup
terms
was.
were.
We, you know, we really didn't discuss specific terms
Yeah.
because the selectmen said they would handle it,
Yeah.
you know.
okay.
And it was a 10-year, I think they said it was like a 10-year.
We were looking
agreement
for
or something like that. I
yeah,
think it was like a 10-year sort of.
yeah,
deal with non-motorized, and I don't know, I mean.
yeah, it was
We were
hand
looking
carry,
non-motorized, Yeah,
Yeah.
hand carry
Carry
in
non-motorized
right,
vessels.
from Shady Point.
right.
Launch.
Yeah,
And there would be, you know, no cost to
No
residents
cost to town
to do that. So I'll give you an update on that.
it's too bad if they can't get that
Right, so,
going, you know, well,
Well, I
there's
know.
not ice on the lake. Like, it would be good.
Yeah, let's hope that it gets finished before summer's over.
Yeah.
Okay,
if there's anything we can do to, I mean, it's not our business, but I mean, I suppose if there's anything we can do to. I don't know.
well, you know, as a,
Expedite, I guess.
Right.
as a commission, we certainly have the ability to do that ourselves, you know, to make agreements with agencies like theirs if. You know, the
Yeah, I
selectmen
don't wanna
are-
step on toes.
No,
or
exactly.
Muddy waters kind of deal, it's just
Right.
like if we can, I don't know, whatever the holdup is, if there's something we can.
Yeah.
Help facilitate, let's do that, I guess, but
There's
I don't know.
we're gonna have a meeting, right, with the.
Yeah.
Selectmen coming up,
Yeah.
maybe we can,
Ask.
ask,
Yep, that's a good point.
Yeah.
you know, get an answer in person, maybe
Right,
that might.
yeah. Where are we at?
Yeah.
In our kayaks and.
Say we, I don't think I can make that meeting. Oh, no, maybe, if it's the 16th, I can, yeah.
Okay, let's jump ahead to upcoming meeting dates. So, you know, so we are short a member, and we do have two individuals in town that are very interested in being considered for filling the vacancy on the board. We have Marianne Mascari and the other gentleman, did I bring them? Thank you, yeah. And, you know, they both are very sincere and, you know, excited about the concept of joining the commission. We should probably forward both of those volunteer forms to the committee. Could you do that for us?
Yeah, I can. So I think Mary Ann's was already sent to everybody. Am I correct in that?
Was it?
One was, that's what I was just looking, one was.
Yeah, I don't think I read it, but I think we got it.
I think so. You should have gotten both of them
Now
because,
that there's two.
so, because I forwarded,
Tim's I got from Heather,
okay, so that one's been forwarded and then
Maybe we can.
and, I don't know if that's Tim, oh, Tim sent.
new volunteer application we would have gotten on the 11th of, I'll just forward it to everybody again.
Okay,
How do I do
thanks.
this? Yeah.
And, you know, I'm obviously new to the board, so how has the commission in the past handled it when we have multiple members?
Just go.
New territory.
Go, let me, you know, let me vote against people, it's what I'm, just kidding. So in the past, everybody's just taken the volunteer form and obviously reviewed it. Sometimes people will come to our meetings. And, you know, there'll be a dialogue on occasion when they're there. Usually they just come to the select board meeting, and then at the select board meeting, the questions, well, you were at the one, for yourself. You know, questions get asked from the select board, we can ask questions on our side, and then everybody gets their individual vote. So it's nothing that in the past, we've never decided beforehand who everybody was supporting, we just sort of went with,
Figure it out that night.
yeah.
Okay. All right, so at this point, we're looking to try to hold that meeting on the 16th of July. So hopefully we can get, if, I need to know that everyone, can make it, or at least that I have a quorum of our commission that can be present either in person or via Zoom. So,
Depending on where. It's not on camera yet, but it's dawning on me right now, so depending on. Where a soccer game is and timing of our meeting, I would be coaching the soccer game somewhere. potentially,
okay,
On Tuesdays and Thursday evenings.
okay,
For 5 weeks.
okay,
But if the meeting's not till, the games are at 6, it happens to be a home game, and it should be over before 7:30.
so in other words, we won't rely on you.
Yeah. It's an away game, I can drive home, and in which case I just die, I'll die.
Okay, and Sharon, are you available?
Yeah, will be available in some form, whether I have to call in on Zoom or in person. I
Yeah.
can make sure that I'm
Okay.
in the country, so.
That's a good start.
That's a great start.
Colleen, how about
Yeah, I
you?
can do the 16th.
Okay,
I couldn't do the previous date, but I can.
okay, perfect. All right, I will confirm with the town manager tomorrow then that the 16th will work. Thank you. Okay, and then in terms of, while we're still on upcoming meeting dates, looking to our regular meeting in July. What is the third,
The 17th.
17th? So 2 nights in a row?
Yeah,
Love this game.
I mean, it certainly works. I mean, that's fine. If he's gonna plan to be in town, I'll certainly.
It could be a short meeting because I don't think, there'll be a lot of new information, other than having potentially a new member on board.
Right.
17th work for you?
So I'm gonna confirm on the 16th. I think I'm okay on the 16th. I can't do, I think it's either the 17th or the 18th, but I don't have my calendar, which one, I
Can I
can't
have a
remember.
suggestion, and I don't know how everybody feels about it. I don't think we're gonna have, as you said, too much to do.
Mhm.
What if we pushed it to like the very, very end of, say, the 31st of July? And then didn't even, did it at the very end of July and then maybe even skip August.
Well, in August, we're gonna have,
We'll need
Oh,
to
yeah,
meet in
we're gonna
August.
have
We're gonna
all
have the
that-
other
that's
meetings in
right.
We have
August.
2
So-
meetings in
Yeah, yep,
August.
yep,
so you could
okay.
conceivably have those meetings in August. But your meetings in August could be mostly pertaining to
Right,
The whole
you could
project,
do
market
a
scenario.
late
So we
July
could do a late July
regular
meeting for
meeting
stuff.
and then just make those and then that could bring the new member
Mhm.
on. That would give the new member
A little cushion.
time to get sworn in and come to that one regular meeting before.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So
I
the
mean, I'm
meeting is
gonna
the
be
next
honest.
night.
My
Yeah, that's
availability
good.
is gonna be spotty in August and September. So if you could get the new member,
That will help make sure they have, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at? What's on Wednesday, late in July?
We have the 17th, 24th, and 31st.
What would work best for everybody?
For me, it would be the 17th or the 31st.
On the 31st is fine. Cause I agree with, if we, on the 16th, they can make a decision for a new member and then the meeting is the next night. So we could give them
It's gonna give them time to get it done.
time to do their stuff. That's
The
it.
31st would be fine. I think.
So aim for the 31st.
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
Good night, Tim.
I guess.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna aim for the 16th. And we're gonna aim for the 31st. Okay,
Mhm.
all right, thanks, guys. Okay, committee updates, open space, master planning.
So two things on that. So master planning was sort of in the survey never got out, that was supposed to get out because they ran into some issues. They started handing it out at Smokestack at the community gathering they had, and then I guess they realized they had some issues, so it's gonna be edited, but then we couldn't get a quorum for our next meeting, so it's sort of in an idle standpoint at this point.
Mhm.
Our rep to open space is actually Anna. So I don't know if we need, I don't know if we can address it tonight or next meeting. She could, if she's willing, we could still have her be our rep,
Mhm.
even though she's
Right,
not on.
but
the
she'd have to
commission.
report to us, yeah.
She'd have to report to us. But I'm just pointing that out. I don't know if there's something we can do about it tonight, but,
Oh, let me reach out to her tomorrow and see what she
Okay.
wants to do.
okay.
Okay. Anything else on?
I have two public comments when you get there.
Okay, all right, chair updates, basically, the updates I had, we've already talked about in terms of meeting with the OPM the other day and, you know, where things stand with the license agreement for the skate park, so I don't have anything else at this point. Approval of minutes, we have two sets of minutes that need to be done, that was on April 24th and May 15th, was it? So has everybody read them?
So I can make a motion to accept the minutes of April 24th and May 15th.
Okay, second,
Do I, so I wasn't here on the,
you can still vote on
I
them,
can vote.
Yeah.
Okay, I did watch the meeting.
okay,
Okay, that's fine.
all right, so do we have a second?
Yes, I guess.
Okay, all right, so all in favor of accepting the minutes of April 24th and May 15th? Okay,
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Me, aye, okay, all approved. Okay, thank you. And let's see. Upcoming meeting dates we've already covered. Okay, so now we're at the comment phase, so I'm gonna let commission comment first. So Karen, you mentioned you had some.
Yeah,
comments.
there's two. One is, can we put, consider putting public comment and board comment either in two spots? Can we move it back to the top two? We had somebody on Zoom today and I don't know if we hit her topic and she logged off right after that,
I
but
know she's gone, yeah.
she's gone. So, you know, for people like that are coming in that may have something to make a public comment about one of our agenda topics, it would be nice to know their opinion before we get to that topic. That's my first
Mhm.
thought.
You got her name. I
Yeah,
saw her
I
there.
actually, as soon as I said it, she's actually my neighbor. She lives across the street from me. I
So we
live in
can
Kennedy.
investigate if we
Yeah,
hit the
yeah,
topic or not.
yeah.
Okay.
I had a feeling we did because it was right. She seemed to log off right after the vote, Jen Nass.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that might have been why
Mhm.
she was there. Could be
Okay.
wrong, but, my other thing is, and this is coming after talking with, Chris Ruth, the past couple of days. I'm wondering if we could consider, adding town employees to our residential rate at Town Beach. So we have, some guys from the DPW who, you know, they're off earlier in the day and they'd like to come to the beach. And so they inquired whether or not they could get a discount on it. We don't currently have a discounted rate, so I didn't know if maybe we could, they're a town employee, if they can prove that they're a town employee, if we could do something under our residential rate for them. But I don't even know if that's something that we can address tonight where it wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah, let's definitely put it on the agenda next time. Unfortunately, you know, we've got to wait on that one
Yeah,
to the 31st and most of the summer will be gone, but I have no qualms at moving ahead with that, you know, when we're, you know, legally in terms of public notice, able to have that vote. I think they work hard. They deserve a
Right,
chance to
I-
cool
I
off.
think we could just set a municipal rate that was the same as the residential rate.
Okay, where it's that far, where a meeting is that far off, is it worth having a 5-minute phone call to?
right, I mean, we
iron
can't
that-
cover
iron that
stuff,
out, kinda do?
um.
I don't know if we can.
There are things that are reasonably anticipated by the chair, which obviously you didn't anticipate that.
Right,
So it says not all items may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. I don't think this is a controversial thing, so I think.
Could we vote it at that meeting on the 16th? We're gonna have to.
I'm just kind of like trying to expedite, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
half the summer goes away by the time we make a decision on.
I
it.
know.
If we're
I feel
part of
bad.
it, Can we,
But the
Yeah.
ex-town manager part of me says this is
Right.
something that should have been an agenda item for
Yeah.
us to properly
Okay.
vote on.
which I wonder if maybe can we set a
Yeah,
5-minute phone
maybe.
call? You know, post an agenda tomorrow and have a 5-minute phone call on Monday night or something, I don't know, like whatever.
I'm fine with doing something
Whatever
like
works
that,
to, you know, just
but it would
a
have to, it would,
one item kind of deal and just bang it out kind of
Can we
thing.
do it 100% on Zoom, just,
I think we could do it 100% on Zoom as long as it's publicly noticed.
okay, that would work for me.
Okay, so we're looking at doing it, so what,
Give me a date and I'm gonna request,
I just hate to see the summer go away.
no, it's the
Yeah.
same thing as, you know.
Yeah.
Getting a
Yeah,
kayak. and-
Right, yeah, the same thing, we wanna get an answer on the 10th, you know, on the.
I'm most likely,
Sure.
well, I don't know, I might be available, I might not, but so if you pick a time that the three of you are available, you don't need me, right? So I can.
Yeah,
be
that, somewhere.
so what's the
I'm gonna
earliest
be
we could
somewhere
meet?
without great phone service, so.
the earliest we can meet if you post it tomorrow, or if I even send it over and it gets posted tomorrow would be Friday. Or Monday, Friday, Saturday, or Monday, because you can meet on Saturday.
For Saturday, I'm gonna have
That's fine. I'm not
3
gonna
grandkids
go
at my
earlier.
house, I won't be able to focus on
That's
anything.
fine. I just am throwing it out there.
But Monday, that's the first.
Open Friday, open Monday.
Yeah, actually, I could do it on Friday. What do people prefer?
Preference for Friday. If it falls in line.
I can probably get on Friday.
What time are we looking at?
I can do whatever time you want.
Yeah,
Susan.
it's not gonna be long, so I mean,
Like-
like during the day, I'll dial in from work or whatever, can I do it till maybe 5? you know,
Like
5,
1
So,
p.m.?
okay, hold on a second. So if we post it tomorrow,
Yeah,
it's
you
gotta
need
be posted
48
48 hours,
48
it's gotta be
hours.
posted in the morning. Um,
And
Which, if I-
how promptly does that happen when you send it?
Last one I posted was immediately posted.
It was, okay, well, the reason I'm asking is, should it be Monday? In case
we could do Monday.
you
if
said
you say
something
so.
and it,
We
So
would
the
know
other thing
tomorrow,
is, the
right?
other thing is that I have to get a Zoom link from Heidi.
Yeah.
And usually she responds fairly quickly, but I won't expect something till tomorrow. So if I don't get it till late morning tomorrow, and then,
Oh, 'cause it has
it
to be
gets
on.
posted, I would just be afraid that we wouldn't be.
Let's aim for Monday
Let's
to
do
be
Monday.
safe. All right, so what time on Monday?
Same, I'm gonna be out, but I'll figure, I mean, I'll dial in from whatever.
I think I'm getting rid of my grandkids around 2
You
p.m.
mean?
Their parents are picking them up around 2 p.m. So maybe 2:30? Is that a weird time?
Sure, but no weirder than.
It might have to remind me, like,
I'll send multiple reminders.
I saw her, I was at the beach house working, sweaty mess, hadn't showered, was in ratty clothes. And suddenly I look at my phone and she's like, reminder, I'm meeting with the OPM today at 11. It was 5 minutes of 11, and I'm like, okay. So that's the, 20.
No, the first.
That's of July
July
1st.
1st.
so one of you guys text me to remind me,
Yeah,
like
jump on.
shortly
I
beforehand,
was gonna
yeah.
say,
and if
I was gonna say,
if I-
someone text me like.
Like, just shortly, but I'm gonna be in Maine and the service, it depends on where I am, if I even will have.
Yeah.
If I'm at my house, I can get on, if I'm anywhere else,
Okay, so it's a sole agenda item, well, other than public comment or whatever, but
How do
basically,
you want, if you tell me what the agenda, how you want it phrased, I will just submit the whole agenda to them.
okay, that'd be awesome. Thank you, Karen. So, I think it should just be, we don't need any updates from facilities or rec. But let's put the first agenda item to be this vote on allowing a municipal rate for Town Beach.
Do we need a public comment for, no, comment can be part of the, never mind, forget it. Comment can be part of the agenda.
Yeah, yeah. And that should be literally a 5-minute discussion at most, I think. We can have public comment on the agenda as well.
Okay.
And if we could include a chairman update, just in case anything else happens over the next few days that I need to make you aware of. I guess that's really all we need.
Okay.
Unless anyone else has concerns about something else
Discussion
coming up.
and vote around municipal rate for Town Beach membership.
Yeah. Municipal employee rate, let's specify. Okay. Okay, so you'll take care of all
Yeah.
that, thank you so
Were they
much.
2:30, we're saying 2:30?
2:30 on Monday, July 1st. Okay. All right, so next is public comment. Is there any public comment? Dave?
Dave Passios, 56 Whiting Street. Speaking very strictly as a taxpayer and resident of the town of Lunenburg. I want this commission to know that these comments are not directed at this commission and should not be taken that way. I've held my tongue for a number of months in regards to the process and the time that it's taken to get the skate park entity access to Marshall Park. I don't blame this commission. I blame the town of Lunenburg and our administrators. We keep getting answers as town, as voters, during select board meetings from the town manager that town council is reviewing. I just see that as a throw town council under the bus because there's other shit going on. Excuse me, but I need to be blunt about this. I feel like there's a chain and an anchor on projects that somebody does not want to move forward expeditiously. There is no reason in the world why this skate park is not 75 to 80% complete as of today. There's no conscionable, taking a word from Mr. David Rogers, my good friend. There's no conscionable reason why this had to drag out so long. So I call out the administration of this town and the Board of Selectmen. There was comment at the select board meeting just recently from another citizen on some issues to do with planning. And things have fallen through the cracks because we don't have our administrators paying attention. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Anything else? Okay. All right, well, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:07. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Great, thank you all. Karen, thank you for posting, taking that on you to post everything for our July 1st meeting. And I will make notes for myself to make sure I send out reminders. You may get several. Don't get mad at me.